Welcome to Active Living at the Active Life. I'm Dan Wooten, and today we're focusing in on travel. Day trips, multi-day travel in this country and around the world. Being an active older adult can give you the opportunity to experience new places. And at the Active Life, we provide about 2 to 3 day trips, about 4 multi-day trips each year for anybody over the age of 55. And so stand by and listen to these individuals that are going to share about what we have to offer at the Active Life and just the love of travel. I'm here with Shirley Lear and Mildred Smith, and at this portion of our show we're going to focus on day trips. These are trips that we take from the Active Life that we do all in one day. And Shirley Lear is the coordinator of our day trip. She's a volunteer, and she has worked with day trips probably 6, 7, 8 years. I can't remember how long. And Mildred Smith is one of our fabulous travelers. And so we want to talk a little bit about these day trips. Shirley, tell me about the planning process. How do we come up with these 2 to 3 day trips that we plan each month at the Active Life?
You and I get together and try to think of some place to go that we've never been, which is pretty hard sometimes. And then, of course, people put suggestions in the suggestion box, and we get some from there. Just word of mouth lots of times. And we'll check it out and think, well, will the seniors, all of them enjoy that? And then we go from there. If they do, we go ahead and make the reservations and take care of all of that.
Now, how does a person 55 or older sign up for these trips? When do we hold the sign-ups, and what is required?
It's usually the first day of the month, and they come in and I pass out numbers, and then Dan, I'll call the number starting with 1 and call the number, and they go into Dan's office and he signs them up then on any of the trips that they want to go on.
Okay, so so you and I get together, we plan these trips. Occasionally we'll do what's called a mystery trip. What is a mystery trip, Shirley?
That's a fun trip. Usually our mystery trips, we try to do something unusual or something we really think they would enjoy. And nobody knows about these trips except Dan and me, except one time I let it out of the bag. But I don't do that anymore.
Okay, so people come, they have no idea where we're going to go. We have a price that they pay that covers for the trip, and
sometimes they're hesitant about signing up, going somewhere where they don't know where they're going or when they're going to be back.
Now, let's talk about a lot of our trips that we've done over the last several years is we'll go to plays, to live theater. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we go through the same thing. We find where we're going, and then the arrangements have to be made to be there, and Dan usually does that. We'll pick the day we want to go and the time we'll be there, and usually everybody works with us and gives us that. All
right, Mildred, you travel with us a lot. Have you gone to some of the theatrical performances?
Yes, especially The Lion King. It was awesome.
And where was that held?
At the Fox.
Oh.
And I will go back again anytime.
That was beautiful, was it? What struck
amazing.
you as being amazing about that performance?
Everything in that play was great. I mean, the way they dress and the costumes, and it was just awesome.
Tell us, Mildred, a little bit about a favorite trip that you can remember that you enjoyed that we took here at the Active Life.
The favorite trip that I took was the Billy Graham Museum.
Okay.
It was really nice. And another one too, when we went to Charlotte, North Carolina, that was a day trip to, what was the?
Well, the Billy Graham is in Charlotte. We did that in all
Billy
one day.
Graham and
Right.
the Jimmy Carter.
Okay,
The
yes.
Jimmy Carter Museum. That was real good.
That is it. What do you like about traveling? You're constantly signing up for our day trips.
I love to travel. I've always wanted to do it, and at this point in my life, I can do it. So I take every advantage I can, and I enjoy the people, the fellowship, and the different restaurants we go to. It is just so nice. Just
Tell
being
us
with
about a
everybody.
restaurant. You mentioned restaurants,
Oh, yeah.
and going to restaurants is a key part of our trip, isn't it?
The most amazing restaurant that I went to is 6 Feet Under. And I always wonder why they call it 6 Feet Under, but I found out it's a big cemetery right across from the restaurant. And I think that's why they call it
Yes.
6 Feet Under.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing those with us. Shirley, as we talked about trips that we have taken and the process that they would, the first business day of each month, a person would come and sign up, and we just cover it's very minimal cost. We call whatever like the ticket cost plus $4 or $5 for actually a trip fee that we go on. So what are some favorite trips that you went on with us? Any day trips that stand out to you in the past that's interesting?
I really like the plays. I really do. And of course we're going to a new one we've never been to, the Legacy Theater in Tyrone, Georgia, to see the Music Man. And I'm looking forward to that. And we go to the Springer in Columbus, the one in West Point, we've been there, I think, and the Fox, to the Fox. So we go to a variety of different places to see the different plays. And I enjoy all of them, really.
Now, we have some specialty trips that we take for groups within the Active Life. Like we have, what are some of those specialty groups that we take on trips?
The Red Hatters.
Okay.
Also, our Healthy Living.
Then the arts and crafts.
Yes,
Good,
arts
okay.
and crafts. And
So those are someone. Genealogy is another one too, and so we'll take them on special trips, like for the Healthy Living. Where are some of the trips that the Healthy Living class goes
Farmers Market. We've been to the Farmers Market, and I guess, well, actually that was the one that we went to, the Farmers Market in Forest Park. That's the big Farmers Market.
Okay.
And then we went to one down in Peachtree City. I enjoyed that one. It was
And that's actually a working farm,
right,
isn't it?
And it was smaller, and all of the fruits and vegetables that they had was great. I really enjoyed that.
What
There
about
was
favorite
good-
restaurants that you've been
Oh
to?
man, we go to all kind of restaurants, different ones. I guess my favorite is probably, for seafood, has got to be Ezel's in
Okay.
Columbus.
That is, and that brings up, we do special lunch out and dinner night out
Right.
that we just focus just on the restaurant and food.
We're an eating bunch of people. Yeah, we do. Let me see. We go to Red Lobster. We go to steak places. A big variety of places. And sometimes, you know, people say, well, let's go back to so-and-so. And, I mean, we'll go to different to the same ones. Because we've been to so many, like on the day trips, we've been to probably, Dan, what, 200 different places?
Oh, probably 300 or 400.
Okay, I'm sure
At
of
least.
that.
At least,
But
yes.
we have a variety of programs
Okay.
that places that we go.
Now, Mildred, let's look again. You mentioned about the fellowship that you have on there. Talk about the fun and then the mental stimulation, the educational benefit of some of these trips.
You know, you get to know different people, and every time I go on a trip, I sit with a different person usually, and you get to know that person. You just get so attached to them, and it just helped me to just fellowship with, you know, different people, because I love people. I'm a people person, and so it just helped me to just, you know, just be together with them and just enjoy the fun time we have together. And we do have a lot of fun together.
I hear a lot of laughter going on the
Oh,
bus.
yes. It's great togetherness. I just love it.
Do you feel that there is a mental stimulation part of our trips? Do you feel like you learn a great deal of information when we go on our
Yes,
trips?
I do. I
Okay.
really do.
Now, you were sharing about a trip we recently took to Atlanta.
Yeah, the Beltline tour.
Yes. And
where-
what did you learn?
You know, I learn a lot because I don't go to Atlanta that much.
Okay.
But I've seen some places that I've never seen before, and it was so interesting. And so it was just so enjoyable, and I just really enjoyed it.
so much. Well, we'd like to invite you all to come and be a part of our day trips. They provide mental stimulation, physical exercise, great food, great fun, and I hope you'll join us for one of our day trips. Now joining us is Martha Thomas and Judy King, and our focus is on multi-day travel. These are trips that we take all around the world even that last more than one day. And Martha Thomas has been working with us since 2005 as a volunteer, planning incredible trips all around. And Martha, tell us a little bit about your career and how you came to retire and come to the active life, and tell us a little bit what qualifies you to be our volunteer trip planner for multi-day travel.
I worked 1 year for Travel Agents International is how I got my start. And then a friend from Macon said, if you ever want to make money, you need to go in business for yourself. So I have a cousin in Atlanta who owns a big agency, and she said for 2 years you have to work hard and not pay yourself. Well, that's a fact. So then I worked until I retired in 2005 and got to travel all over the United States, meet lovely people. And then when I retired, I started coming to the senior because of my mom. And so then I was doing 3 trips a year for the senior center.
Wow. I remember the day that we went on a cruise together, and you mentioned on that cruise and told me that you were a professional tour planner and had retired, and if I ever needed help to let you know it. Boy, did we get your help. And here we are years later, and so many amazing trips that we've taken. What are some of the trips that come to mind that you've planned over the years here at the Active Life?
I think Branson is probably the #1 that people can go on every other year, just about. Myrtle Beach, because these 2 trips have a lot of activities and things to see and do. And of course the meals make it really special because we don't have different restaurants in LaGrange, so they enjoy the food that we have. And then I would say New Orleans, San Antonio, Cape Cod, and right now I'm excited about going to Hawaii for the first time.
Yes.
That's the only state that I had not been in.
Wow.
So I'm excited about that one.
Now tell me a little bit, Martha, about how you go about planning these fabulous trips. Now, you bring your experience with you, but tell us a little bit about the process of planning one of these trips.
Okay, first of all, you and I get together and decide where we're going and the dates. And then I have to get the motor coach. Then I work on hotels. Then you work on the activities. And then the restaurants are the last thing that I do. And in planning the trips, you have to consider that you're having people from all walks of life. So you don't want to make it where just one group can go. You want everybody to be able to go, even if they have to save for it, you know.
Wow.
So that's, you know, the things that I do in the order I do them in.
Wow. Because it's really, we have a very diverse population that we serve here at the Active Life, and these trips really attract all different groups of individuals, and that's what's been amazing to me. And I think of Niagara Falls and Washington, D.C., and just an amazing educational and fun time that we have on these trips. Now, Judy, I want to talk a little about you and your husband have traveled on many of our multi-day trips, and what are some of the trips that stand out to you that you've especially enjoyed traveling on?
Branson, Myrtle Beach, Cape Cod, Pigeon Forge, just many of them, and looking forward to my next trip.
And where is that?
Hawaii.
Ooh.
First cruise.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, what attracts you and your husband to these trips? Why do you sign up and keep on coming back?
Well, it's a lot of fellowship with all the other people, and we just enjoy being out and seeing things we've never seen before.
Wow, wow. Now, tell me a little bit about the food that we experience on these trips. Is that especially enjoyable?
To my husband, yes, the Cape Cod. Oh boy, he really tore lobster up, so we didn't let me have any, so that he loves the food.
That's great. I know you have other friends that also have started attending some of the multi-day trips too.
Right. Our pastor and his wife have begun to take the trips with us, and some more friends, Billy, Nancy, Nick. So they're really enjoying it now that they see what goes on and the activities that we have, and it's so well planned.
Now, I want to throw this question at you. Some people have, when they think of a senior or an older adult recreation center, they think of a bunch of people sitting around in rockers. Is that a fair description of the Active Life?
No, it's not, and I'm like George Jones. I don't want no rocking chair.
So what's amazing, Martha, you plan these trips, and they are not just watch from the window type trips, are they? Our latest trip that we got back from was Washington, D.C., and you planned an incredible excursion to Quantico Marine Base. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the driver of the motor coach mentioned to me that he had taken a group to the museum at Quantico. Well, I got on the computer and found out that there was customer service, so to speak, and got in touch with this Mr. Westbury, who said that not only could we go to the museum, but we could tour the base, we could have a meal there, and you said when you got back, because my grandson got married that week, that he gave y'all a delightful tour.
Oh, yes.
And so when I talked to him later and told him how much you all enjoyed it, he said he did also. So that was how I found out about it.
And you know, I think it's those little touches that you throw in the trips that I think are like cherry on top of a beautiful dessert that we enjoy on these trips. You just, so many of the restaurants, the educational experiences, just the fun and fellowship of spending quality time with people that you don't normally get a chance to be with is great.
Yeah. Well, you know, just trying to find a restaurant that has linen tablecloths and china and that type thing. We don't get that too much around here.
Right, right.
And then with the different foods that are offered.
Okay, now let's talk about, Martha, we have an upcoming trip that we're going to be starting to sell, and that is San Antonio. Tell us a little bit about that trip. What are we going to do on that trip?
Well, we will leave and go from LaGrange to Baton Rouge, where we will do a swamp tour. The next 2 nights will be in San Antonio, where we'll have a step-on guide, and she will show us all of San Antonio. There will also be a riverboat ride.
Wow.
A dinner at the Quesaria restaurant. And
Is that right on the Riverwalk?
It's on the
Wow.
Riverwalk, yes. And then we're going to have a step-on guide in Austin, Texas. We'll have a step-on guide in Dallas. We will tour the Dealey Plaza, where they've got the Kennedy Museum, where he was shot.
Okay.
And then we go back to Shreveport is our last night.
Excellent.
That'll be the farewell dinner. We'll be home about 9 o'clock on
Okay.
Saturday night.
And so that'll be a 6-day, 5-night.
Right.
Okay, and we have information here. If somebody is interested, they can come pick up a brochure, and that sounds amazing. And so these trips are for all groups of people. We have some people that have some difficulties in walking, but we still are able to accommodate them, and we kind of let them know how much walking is involved so they can make a wise decision as far as if that trip
Yes,
is,
and then
is for
you know
them.
you can always either stay on the motor coach or find your seat if you don't think you can walk as much as
Okay.
we will be walking.
Oh, that's excellent. I think on the Washington, D.C. trip, I think I walked their feet off.
Yeah,
But I learned a lesson on that. Judy, anything about that you'd like to talk about if someone's a little nervous about traveling outside of Georgia? Is there any concerns that they have on these multi-day trips, going to different parts of the United States? Do you feel comfortable with travel?
I feel very comfortable with it, and I think we always advise us what to take, what to bring, where to keep your medicines if you need them. So I have no fear at all with it, and I think anyone would enjoy going.
Oh, good. Good. And you mentioned about that we have a meeting that talks about what to bring and what to expect. Tell us a little bit about that meeting. What goes on at that meeting?
Normally, you or Martha One would get up and tell us, and we'd have a sheet, also a sheet telling us what to do, what to bring, what we can, how many suitcases we can
Okay.
have, carry-on bags, and just a lot of tips to let you know. Even bring a blanket if you're cold-natured, because the coach is going to be cool.
Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you, ladies, for being here, and I hope some people will hear this and realize of all the type of active travel that we have here at the Active Life. Thank you.
Why United Way? Because 99 cents of every dollar donated to United Way of West Georgia stays right here to help your neighbors. Yes, 99 cents. United Way makes every penny count. You can count on United Way, and United Way of West Georgia is counting on you. Please give today.
I'm here with Wanda and Harry Stribling. They are members of the Active Life, and they have traveled to more places in the world than anybody else I know. And Harry and Wanda, thank you for being here today. I just want people to hear a little bit about your love for travel and some of your experiences that you had of traveling. You've traveled some with us, but you travel a lot on your own. You take a lot of cruises. Wanda, I'm going to start with you. Where did you get this love of travel?
Well, there's just so many beautiful places in the world, and you've studied about them while you were in school, and it's just something that has sort of lured us in, that we enjoy visiting these places that you read about, and they sound so exciting, and when we get there, they really are, and they're beautiful.
Well, give me some examples. What have been some of the most beautiful experiences you've had in world travel?
Well, in the United States, we've seen places like the Grand Canyon, we've been to Niagara Falls, we've been to Alaska and seen, lots of the scenery up there with the glaciers. We've traveled and seen the Eiffel Tower. We've seen arts of works like the Venus de Milo and the David. Just lots of different places that you only dream that you'll be able to go. And then, of course, working hard and trying to plan ahead, we've been able to see some of those places.
Wow. Harry, tell me about you. What do you love about traveling internationally? And tell me some of the places that you've especially enjoyed visiting.
We love travel. I think we're part gypsies or something. I don't know. But we've traveled around most places in Europe. I was stationed over there back in the 60s, and it got under our skin then. And when we came back to the United States, then we began to cruising, and we've been to Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand's a beautiful country. Everybody needs to see New Zealand.
Wow.
We've been to Alaska, like Wanda said, about 3 times, and each time we go, we see something different.
Okay.
It's just amazing, all the sights that you see around all over the world.
Now, let's talk about cruising. You mentioned that you enjoy going on cruises. Tell me why you enjoy that and what experiences that the cruise ship provides for you and Wanda.
Well, cruising is the best method of using your money on a trip. You get all your entertainment. You're going somewhere just about every day. They feed you 3 meals a day, or you can eat 24 hours a day if you want to. They've just got plenty of food on a cruise. We have cruised so many times with Princess Cruises that we have certain perks. We get all our laundry done free.
Wow.
We have setups in the room. They have beer and liquor and things like that. They set it up in your room, and of course we don't drink all that much, so we get a lot of it, but we don't use it all. But those kinds of things, and they also send us deals on the computer through the internet with specials. Real cheap prices on cruises, and that's what keeps us motivated there, because they're always sending those things to us. And once we see one that's really advantageous to go, then we sign up for it.
Wow. Wanda, on the cruise ship, what do you enjoy doing on the cruise ship, and why do you enjoy cruising?
Well, they have activities throughout the entire day, and every day you get a brochure, sort of like your active life calendar, and it tells you what's going on hour by hour. So you may want to play bingo, or you may want to go out by the pool and listen to a band. There's just always some sort of activity, craft activities or what have you going on.
What about the food? Do you enjoy the food experience they provide on cruise ships?
The food is very good. They have a varied menu that covers anything from people who eat meats or people who are vegetarians. They have seafood, steaks, just the best salmon you'll ever eat. They have baked grilled salmon, and it is absolutely wonderful. But the first cruise we went on, I won in 1984. And we had such a good time, it just sort of got us to cruising, and we've just continued on with that.
Wow. Well, thank you, Wanda and Harry. And you're an inspiration. You've traveled with us to Ireland, and you've gone on some other multi-day trips. And I say keep on traveling.
That's right. Because
you know, the best thing that we found out, America's just the best country in the world. And the only way that you can compare it is go to other countries, and you find out what a big value we have right here in the United States of America.
We are certainly blessed. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. I hope you enjoyed meeting those individuals that love travel. And I know out there some of you love travel and have not yet had a chance to experience some trips here at the Active Life. So I want you to come on out, and we'll talk about all the trips we have available. Like, we have a multi-day trip to Greece that we're planning for next year, and we have brochures that are available here at the Active Life. It's called Greece in the Footsteps of the Apostle Paul, and we'll be traveling next March 2015. And we have a special introductory meeting that will show you slides about Greece and about this trip. It's put on by Colette Vacations, the #1 travel planner in our country. And so August 21st at 5:15 p.m. here at the Active Life, we'll have an introductory meeting, so I invite you to come to that. But I hope you take advantage of these trips. We'd love for you to come by the Active Life and learn more about travel. So don't sit in your sofa seat watching TV all day. Come out and travel and experience the Active Life.